Hello everyone, welcome to another video of my income tax series. My name is Gaurav Lohia and I'm a chartered accountant. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about the scope of total income, section 5. So let's get started. It is section 5, scope of total income, right? So the scope of total income, the scope of income depends on three major factors. It depends on three major factors. One is your residential status. One is your residential status. The second, the second is the place of accrual, right? The place of accrual or arising or in receipt. The place of accrual or receipt. And the third is the time. Let's say the time of accrual or your receipt, right? This is also very much important. So your scope of total income depends on these factors. That means whether a particular income will be included in my total income or not will depend on three factors. What? In a residential status, it will depend on residential status, whether am I an Indian resident or not, whether the income is received received in India or deemed to be received in India, or accrued in India or arising in India, deemed to accrue or arise in India, and the time of accrual, that is when the income was accrued or the time when the income was received. Was I a resident? Was I in India or not? Those kind of factors also matter. That is, the income should have been received within the previous year only, right? So if these three questions are answered correctly, you can then determine whether a particular income would form part of my total income or not. Right. Now, further, the income of any person can be divided into two major categories. What are those? Is, let's say I write total income, or let me change the color so that it makes some distinction. Let's say we take the total income, right? We take the total income of a person, right? Now, this total income can be majorly divided into two categories. One is my Indian income. One is my Indian income. Now, this Indian income will also cover two important things. Two further very important things. What are those? Is this Indian income will also cover my income which is received in India. Income received or deemed to be received, or deemed to be received in India. This is just 1 point. Income received or deemed to be received in India is 1 point. Then second, it would also cover income accrued or arising or deemed to accrue or arise in India. In India, right? So when we talk about Indian income would also cover, apart from our normal income, which would have been received in India, earned in India, all those things, which you can clearly say it is an Indian income. Apart from that, income in India would mean these two additional things, that is income received or deemed to be received in India, income received or deemed to be received in India, income accrued or arising or deemed to accrue or arise in India, right? We will discuss these 2 points in detail further. Next, move on to the second type of income. I said it can be majorly classified into 2 categories. One is your Indian income. The second is your foreign income. Second is your foreign income, right? Done. So these are the 2 major types of income in when we talk about total income, right? My total income will consist of majorly these 2 type of income. Now, after we have determined, okay, what basis we have to the factors which constitute to my total income, what are the type of total income or what components consists in total income, it is time to understand what income would be taxable when I am a resident, what income would be taxable when I am a resident and not ordinarily resident, and what income would be taxable when I am non-resident, right? So I have one category which is resident and ordinarily resident, one category which says resident and not ordinarily resident, and the last one is non-resident, right? These are the 3. We are only talking about individuals and HUF right now, right? In individuals and HUF, we have these 3 categories: resident and ordinarily resident, resident not ordinarily resident, and non-resident. Then we will write down the total income, the components of total income. First is my Indian income, right? First is my Indian income. Okay. When we talk about Indian income is always taxable, right? This Indian income, first of all, consists both of these, that is income received or deemed to be received and income accrued or arising or deemed to accrue or arising, that is included in my Indian income. And Indian income is always taxable in India. Whether a person is resident, non-resident, does not matter. Indian income is always taxable, right? So in all 3 cases, it would be taxable, right? In all 3 cases, it would be taxable. Next, we come to our foreign income. Now, when we talk about foreign income, a distinction has to be made here, especially because of this particular category, right? When it is resident and not ordinarily resident, we have to make a distinction. What is that distinction? That is business or profession controlled from India. Controlled from India and other income. Right? So when we talk about foreign income, individual, specifically for individuals and HUF, you have to make a distinction, that is business or profession controlled from India and other income. So what would be the taxability? When we talk about taxability, for resident and ordinary resident, their global income is taxable in India. Their global income is taxable in India, so you need not worry at all. So it would be yes in all the cases. It would be yes in all the cases, right? When we talk about resident and not ordinarily resident, there when it is an foreign income from a business or profession which is controlled in India, then that income would be taxable in India. Then that income would be taxable in India. However, their other foreign income will not be taxed. Their other foreign income will not be taxed. And when it comes to non-resident, no foreign income will be taxed even if the business is controlled in India. Even if the business is controlled in India, right? So this is for individuals and HUF. When it comes to other assessees or other persons, we have only 2 types of residential status. One is resident and the other one is non-resident. And the income also is only 2 types of income, that is Indian and foreign. Now, right? So for a resident, irrespective of the status of the resident, whether they are whether they are individual, HUF, company, AOP, BOI, doesn't matter. When a person is a resident in India, their global income is taxable. Since their global income is taxable, both Indian income and foreign income would be taxable. Both Indian income and foreign income would be taxable. When it comes to non-resident, any non-resident earning income in India would be taxable in India. That's a thumb rule, right? Any non-resident earning income in India would be taxable in India. Non-resident earning foreign income in another country, it is not taxable, obviously. Now, thing to note here is there is no distinction between business controlled in India and other income. Here, when we talk about other assets, why? Because when it becomes a business or profession controlled from India, that business or that person becomes a resident in India, right? So there is no point for us to make any further distinction in the type of income here, right? So this is our section 5 scope of total income. Next, we will move on to section 7, which talks about income received or deemed to be received in India. Okay, moving on to section 7. Its a name is a little big here. Income received or deemed to be received in India, right? Income received or deemed to be received in India. This has only 3 components. So, income received or deemed to be received in India. First of all, what it means is that means that an income, though you might have not received it, or you might have not received it in India, it is outside or whatever, income tax would consider it to be receipt of income, and that too in India, right? There are only and only 3 components of this section. First one, let's say first one is contribution to recognized provident fund in excess of 12% and interest on recognized provident fund in excess of 9.5%. This would be per annum, right? So why this section now is if an individual is making contribution to a recognized provident fund which is in excess of 12% of his salary, which is in excess of 12% of that person's salary, then that excess portion would be deemed to be income here, right? And secondly, if you are receiving interest which is in excess of 9.5% per annum, which is in excess of 9.5% per annum, then that excess interest also would be deemed to be income received in India. Then second, right? Employer's contribution to pension fund. Employer's contribution to pension fund under section 80 CCD. If any employer is contributing any amount to a pension fund of his employee or her employee, that amount which is contributed would be considered to be income received or deemed to be received in India, right? And the third one is transfer from unrecognized provident fund to recognized provident fund of employer contribution and interest thereon. Transfer from unrecognized provident fund to recognized provident fund of employer contribution and interest thereon. Right? Let's say I have an employer has been transferring their share of employer's contribution of provident fund to an unrecognized provident fund month on month. When the total money accumulated in unrecognized provident fund is transferred or is moved to a new fund, recognized provident fund, then the part of employer contribution and the interest on that employer contribution accumulated till date would be considered to be income received or deemed to be received in India, right? So this ends section 7 as well, very small section but important to remember. Now in the next class, we will discuss about income deemed to accrue or arise in India. Section 9, very important section and very important from income tax perspective, very important from international tax perspective as well. Right? So thank you for watching. Hope you did understand. We will also try to solve some problems as we go further along in this chapter towards the end of it mainly, right? Thank you for watching. Like if you did like, comment what you didn't like, and let me know if there is something you would particularly want me to take up and solve or explain in the class, right? Thank you. Bye bye.